Hello and welcome to another Ivory Pass guide, where today we're going to be talking about super efficient passing games and how we install it. As a former product of a June Jones offense, I'm going to show you guys how to run a run and shoot passing concept. Not an offense, but a run and shoot style passing concept, and how to become super efficient and complete a high number of passes in your games on Heisman mode. There we go. Single game passing yards record. But before we get started, guys, there's a currency in the cosmos here on YouTube, and that is that like button. If you're watching this and enjoying this kind of material, make sure you hit that like button, which helps push us out into that algorithm. Show us some love, leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing and joining the IP Army, where you not only get content like this, but we live stream every day of the week, and we'd love to have you. Without further ado, let's jump into the video. All right, my friends, we're going to go here in practice mode. I'm going to run a very popular formation, which is going to be like trips to the right with an offset running back. And we'll just go position by position as far as our receivers and tight end is concerned, and tell you guys how to do a pre-snap read and possible options to diagnose a defense for very quick passing. So everything we're going to do is all timing routes, and we'll go ahead and jump into it. We're going to start with our square, which is over on the left. This is going to be our backside route here. And the first thing we want to do is to see what the safety is doing. So you can see number one, who is DeBose, the guy over the top. He is playing pretty dang deep. It looks like with his counterpart, the strong safety, it looks like they're going to be in too high coverage. So the very next read we're going to look at is who is covering him. So that's the cornerback. You can see he's about 5 yards off here. And then the third read is going to be, what are the linebackers doing? Are they in the box? Are they out of the box? Are they on the line, which they are here? Are they playing offset? What are they doing? So here we got them in on the line of scrimmage. So all of our reads for the square option. This is a very simple concept right here, and we'll just go one step at a time. I've recorded this a few times now, and I've jumped ahead of myself because the opportunities presented itself. But let's just go ahead and go one step at a time. The most simple concept here is what I like to call like a hook drag concept. So anyway, you could choose any pass play because you're going to need to hot route all of your routes. But the first thing you want to do is put a hook on your primary. Okay, that's what a hook looks like. You're looking at your square over here. The second thing you're going to do is either take your tight end, if you have a really good tight end, or if your slot receiver is better, use your slot, and you're going to create a drag. That's all you need to do. Typically, if you want more time, leave your running back into block. That is just triangle R2. So hot route, triangle R2. That leaves him in the block here. The only two reads, okay, for this first part of this video is going to be square, and then whoever you use on a drag. Okay, so what we're going to do here when we snap the ball is we are going to read. We already know we've got a little bit of space on square. Okay, we're going to read number one, the free safety. Is the free safety going to cover Harris? If he does, we're immediately looking for null, R1. We're immediately looking to check down. If he doesn't, the next thing you need to assess is if you can throw the hook against the corner. So if the corner sits here and he's in like a Tampa style coverage, you're not going to throw it. You're going to check it down. Okay, so let's just see. Number one, the first thing I'm going to do, read the free safety. Number two, read the corner. Okay, this is for when your linebackers are on the line of scrimmage. So the linebackers are pretty much not in play here. The only other thing you would need to assess is if 45, who is over the left tackle there, if he drops into coverage. Okay, that's an immediate check down. So our check down is, again, R1. We're going to throw square, or we're going to throw R1. Let's go ahead and go a real time here, guys. We're going to read free safety, corner, and then either the edge or if the backer, they decide to run out. Okay, and then we'll talk about it after this. Let's snap it. Okay, immediately, I'll just go over the replay and why we decided to check it down. Go into our instant replay. Okay, so I'm immediately reading the free safety. You can see he kind of shaded over there, so I knew that he was high. He's going to stay up above our receiver because we're running about a 10-yard hook here. But you can see we could have thrown this to the inside of our receiver and kind of forced that hook route is there. There's nobody in space right here. So this is a perfectly good read. We would have been throwing the ball already to throw that hook. But if you noticed, when this is like kind of a faster read, I watched what the backers did. And instead of blitzing, these guys vacated the space underneath. So I knew this was going to be wide open, and I knew this was a 1v1. So the defensive back could come and punch the ball out from our receiver here, but nobody's really going to disrupt this route right here until after he catches it. Okay, so that's why I made that read. Let's do the exact same thing here. Now, what we're reading here, number one, safeties. What are the safeties doing? You can see immediately the free safety went over the top, over the center. That's going to signal to me that this is a cover one. So one high zone safety. Okay, read number two. What is our cornerback doing? Our corner's in press. Okay, so we're always looking for space. Immediately, we know that our hook is not going to be there, right? Because we're in press. He took all that space away. Okay, so the only thing we're going to change here is instead of a hook drag, we're going to do a streak drag. Okay, and we'll leave our guy in the block. So the only thing we're reading here is, do we beat this guy off the line? If we do, we're going to throw it. If we don't, we're going to check it down. So let's have a look at this. We beat him, we throw it. Touchdown. Very simple. So the defense is in random coverages, by the way. So what do you guys notice right away? Reading our free safety. If you look at his counterpart, the strong safety, it looks in too high. Immediately for the safeties, that's what we're looking at. Number two, who's covering our guy? Who's covering our square? It's a cornerback, and this is a third different look here. So he's like 8 yards off the ball, right? So this signals to me that it could be a cover four, where you're going to have your two safeties drop straight back and also your two corners drop straight back. Immediately, this signals that we could throw underneath. What do we want to do underneath? Is our hook drag. Okay. The third read here, now that our linebackers are not on the line, our middle linebacker right there, our Mike, is right over the center, but our outside, who's number 4, he's playing inside the box, but we have a stand-up defensive end. Okay. So our read here, back to the hook drag, if we go back just 1 minute here, is we're going to read free safety, we're going to read corner, and your third read, if you got guys in the box, is going to be, what is the edge / outside backer doing? Is he going to cover off that hook? Can we throw it, or do we got to dump it off? Let's go ahead and do that. We're going to hot route to the hook. We're going to hot route to the drag. And let's just leave our running back, so you don't need to leave him into block every time. The reason I do, all right, is because if nobody's rushing, he'll run that route and he'll knock your R1 off of his route. Okay, so this is very simple. We're going to run the hook, we're going to run the drag, and we're going to diagnose on the read here, but we know our primary read is this hook because there's space over there, right? So let's see what happens. Right away, guys, did you see what happened? Let's go through the replay. Okay, so I'm reading the free safety. Once we snap the ball, immediately he's out of the play. So this is a good route. But you see this outside backer is now taking this throw. He's putting himself between you and your intended receiver. This is an immediate check down. So this guy makes a great play on the ball, right? He's just in here in zone. If our running back comes out and bumps this guy, he goes a little deeper. That's why I like a drag route as opposed to a slant. But you can throw that underneath. Now that's contested. That's 1v1, right? So if you got a good middle linebacker who has like what I think is like a boom trait, he could knock that free. But you're not going to throw interceptions here, right? So you're just checking this thing down. You could wait another second, right, and let this guy clear, at which point this guy will come down. So your window is going to be right here. And if we don't throw that, this guy's going to hang out with our tight end a little more. But that's your hook drag. Okay, let's do another example of that. Here we go. Kind of the same thing. Okay, but this time we don't have a stand-up edge. So let's go through the reads here. Free safety. What is he doing? He's over the top, over the center. Where's the strong safety? Strong safety completely out of play. He's actually playing outside backer here, right? But all you got to do is look, is there a strong safety? No, there's not a strong safety. So this signals a 1 high coverage. Number 2, who's covering our square? It's going to be the cornerback, and he's playing super deep at 8 yards off. That's going to signal to me right away we're going to have something underneath. So we're going to do our hook drag concept. Read number 3. What is this outside backer doing? It's actually the strong safety, number 22, right over our left tackle, number 65. He's got the fire icon. He's going to be our 3rd read. Okay, so we can pretty much guess that number 1 is not going to try to cover the free safety. He's not going to try to cover Harris. All right, so you can immediately look at your cornerback, and then right after your cornerback, you're reading your outside backer, the guy with the fire. So let's go ahead and set that up. Hook, drag, the easiest passing concept in the game here. Okay, so if this guy with the fire icon, strong safety, if he shades out into like a zone coverage on Harris, we're going to check it down. If not, we're going to throw the hook. Pretty simple. Okay. They threw a little curveball at us, didn't they? So if you guys saw what I saw, again, you wanted to have open throwing lanes. All right. So we were reading our strong safety here. He's out of the play, right? So immediately, I know what I said, right? But we gotta adjust on the fly. So immediately somebody threw themselves in our passing lane. This defensive end actually dropped back in coverage. So there's a guy between us and our intended receiver. The hook, if you guys watch our live streams, you know that the hook is open a lot. So in practice here, they're covering it off. I think they know what we're doing here. But this is an immediate check down, right? So that's why I like the drag, because typically all your zone coverages are going deep. And if this is a man coverage, the hook is always open. But we immediately check this down to our slot receiver. Okay, another example here. Check this out. So we're going to look at our free safety. What is he doing? He's overshaded to our side of the field because we're always reading the square here. His counterpart, the strong safety, also in a high formation. He is offset, which is kind of a video game bug. You know, you don't ever know what he's doing, but I could tell right now this could be a cover 3, likely because they're staggered. But just for the sake of our read here, we'll just say at the very least, it's going to be cover 2 because we got 2 high safeties. What's our corner doing? We got a ton of space, so we're going to run our hook drag. Let's put it on. Okay, and then what are our backers doing? Immediately, our backers, we've got somebody in the way. So what we're looking for is if they clear this space to our left. If they don't clear this space to our left, we can't throw the hook, and we've got to check it down. So let's see what they do here. They do. They give us space. Nice throw, by the way. We overthrew that one. I like classic passing for that reason, because not everything's perfect. But that's our read right there. So we're watching this space all around this guy, number 15. So you can see right when we snap it, everybody leaves. So we know the hook is on, and now it's a timing route. You can see we're already reared up to throw, and our receiver isn't even turned around yet. So in our throwing motion, we almost let go of the ball, and he's just getting into his cut. 100% timing. So if he throws that ball where it's supposed to be, that's a completion right there. Let's do another example. Okay, now we're back to kind of the original look at what we were doing, right? So we'll go hook drag, and let's read it. Free safety over the top. What's his counterpart doing? He's also over the top, at least cover 2. What's our cornerback doing? He's playing at 5 yards, meaning he could be in like a low zone coverage. So we've got the potential to throw that hook depending on if he goes high or low. And then we're looking at who's in the box. So we've got a stand up edge, and then we've got the middle linebacker. In our case, this middle linebacker is like super fast, but typically they're not. So we're going to watch these 4 players. What do they do? And that's how we're going to make this read. Do we throw the hook? Do we check it down? Try to read this in real time, by the way, and let me know if you get it. So hook or drag. Okay. You guys saw immediately. Let's have a look at it. Our edge drops back into coverage, right? Anytime that happens, it just tells me that the drag underneath is going to be wide open, right? But we did have this hook. It's just muscle memory for me that if anybody gets in this danger zone, that I'm just going to check it down, right? And that's going to increase your passing efficiency tenfold if you're used to throwing those. Okay, another example here. Hook, drag. Okay, always that's going to be our concept here. So we got one high safety. We've got plenty of room for our wide receiver, which is square. And then in the box, we've got our defensive end is standing up, our edge rusher. And then we've got a middle linebacker. So that's actually switched. So I know that just because I know the positions. So our Mike is actually over our guard, 57 there, it looks like. And then who's playing Mike? He's over the other guard, right? Okay, so our read is going to be, what's the free safety cornerback doing? And then it's anybody getting on our way to throw this pass. Let's do it in real time. Right there. Why are we overthrowing that? Okay, so that was the perfect read there. Perfect read. You can see we got a rush here, and then both linebackers just staying right there in the middle. So they immediately take, there's no chance for us to throw this drag, right? Because they put themselves there. But this is wide open. There's nobody in this area. There's nobody between them. So we're always, our motto here on this channel is win your ones. This is one of those. Throwing the football is definitely a win your one. No chance to catch it, but that is the right read. He should have hands on that football, and we should have a nice 8 to 10 yard gain right there. Let's do another example. Check this out. Now, you guys saw it. Watch this. Free safety is going to walk up to the line. That signals to me that it's going to be a free safety blitz. All right. It looks like they might have checked that. So we'll consider it. Free safety, strong safety. His counterpart looks like at least too high. We've got plenty of space on the defensive backs, the corners, signaling that we can throw the hook. But to throw the hook, we need 45. And then both of these linebackers to vacate our little soft area. Okay, so that's our three reads. What's free safety doing? Is he going to put ourselves in our little soft area in our throwing lane? Is the defensive back going to continue to give us cushion, the free safety? And then is the edge or the outside backers going to go into our throwing lane? That's going to dictate what we do. Let's do it in real time. Okay, let's talk about it because this one was a little different, wasn't it? Free safety immediately goes over to cover the wide receiver. So this is a 2v1. I typically don't do 2v1s. I like 1v1s. So immediately underneath, we have the time. We could have thrown this at any second. I wanted to wait and see if he was going to clear, if this guy was going to continue to run out. But if you're running just straight off the timing, we're already throwing that football. We're not letting the defense get to us. And that's a pretty easy check down. You can see right away. This guy is, it should be automatic. We should have thrown the ball about right here. As you guys know, this guy will come up. This will only be a 1 to 2 yard gain, but anything that you put in the bank positive is a good thing. Let's do another example. Okay, check it out. So our free safety is actually creeping down. Let's do our hook drag philosophy here. Keep our running back into block, and all the reads are going to be the same. So this guy's at 5 yards. Okay, he's not in press. The only time we run a streak drag is when we have press coverage. So we do have 5 yard cushion here. So we're going to read free safety, corner, and then who's in this negative space. So our rushing edge is over our tackle, and then outside of the box you have an outside backer, and then somebody else who can make the plays, the middle backer, which is number 31 there. But we'll read it. Let's do it in real time. We got our hook, we got our drag. Let's read it. You guys see that? Now we're winning our ones. And that's what we mean. Finally, we make a good throw where we can actually have a good talking point, right? Okay, so immediately, nobody's in this area. This is all I'm reading. My eyes are always right here in this area. Nobody's going to that area, so let's just watch through Bossier's eyes here. We're already loaded to throw. We know where we're going with the football, right? This is when the throwing motion starts. You can see we're only at about 7 of our 10 yards on our route here. And then look at this. So we're already 50% through our throwing motion as this cut happens. And this guy, so you can't be late on these. This guy's sat down. There's nothing the defensive back can do there. Makes a tackle. That's a great, like, second, third down when you need a first down. throw that. This is like the best passing concept. Do one more example here. Okay, what are we reading? Immediately we saw the free safety staying high, but his counterpart actually checked down, right? So that's going to signal to me that it's one high. Okay, and we'll just for the sake of this video here, we're going to do hook drag. Okay, so you guys think about it. We're going to read free safety. We're going to read what is this corner doing, and then we're going to read that open, that dead space right there. So this is actually a cornerback number 15 who's over our edge number 45. We're going to read him, and then just who's getting in that space here. Already you can see they're getting in that space. Our quarterback's really, really short, by the way, so that happens from time to time. But that is the perfect read. Why? You guessed it, because this guy put himself right in our throwing lane. So that's a pick, probably a pick six if you decide to throw this. So all we do is check it down. I wanted to wait just a little bit here because this guy's on like a read coverage. It doesn't, even if he's just manned up on this guy, this is a mismatch, right? And you'll win that 9 times out of 10. If you don't, it's an incompletion. Okay, you're not throwing picks. All right, now we've got a perfect example here. So this is the streak. This, the only thing that changes is if you have press coverage, we run a streak no matter what. Okay, and the only thing that we're going to change here is our read's still going to be the same. Free safety, yep, he's over the top. His counterpart, the strong safety, he's over the top, so that's cover 2. But we have press coverage, which means it could be a cover 2 man, and we're going to take that chance. The only read here, because we're not throwing a hook, is we completely disregard anybody else. The entire read here on a streak, if you have press coverage, the entire read here is going to be your free safety. Okay, if the free safety decides to shade over, so he's going to go toward that 10-yard marker, we're not going to throw it. We're going to throw it to null. If he doesn't, if that free safety, or strong safety comes off and the free safety decides to go up into like a single coverage, like a single high coverage, or he comes down, we're throwing that. And we'll do that in real time here. So let's just read the free safety. Oh, he's off the ball. We throw that. So just like that, this is winning your ones right here. So if we had more space, we obviously beat that guy. That would have been a lot of fun. Let's have a look at it here, guys. So immediately, I know I'm throwing this ball based on his first step. Right when we snap it, he's already going towards the middle of the field. That means I can direct my throw out here, and he's likely not going to get to it. But if we give this guy a few extra steps, we can see that he's completely out of the play, and we just throw it deep, right? Just try to throw it in a line. Now, if we had, if we were like not on our side of the field, right, we could have thrown a deep ball here, because this guy was beat pretty bad. He was beat pretty bad. Had a good 3 yards on him. All right, back to this read. Single high. The free safety's out of the play. He's up there. He's got the fire on him, right? But we'll just call the free safety the deepest guy. It's actually the strong safety in this case. So we've got one high coverage, right? We'll just go back to our, because we have space from our cornerback, all we're going to do, and let's actually change this. So let's put this guy back on his route, right? And you can do this with your tight end too. So you can make your tight end the drag. All right, so all we're going to do, reading here, because that safety's so far off the ball, he's like right over the center. He kind of takes himself out of the play. So our next read is our corner. We're going to have a look there. But the big read for the hook and drag concept is, what is this dead space over to our left? Is anybody going to put themselves in our throwing lane? If they do, we check down to Swinney. If they don't, we throw it to Harris. Let's do it in real time. Check that out. So nobody was there. And again, you're going to see that all of this is timing routes. Okay. So right when we snap this ball, watch our free safety here. Okay. So this is my read. He's immediately coming, right? Then I look at this guy. We're already looking here just really quickly. He's rushing. All right. Now I am looking here, but it's already a timing route. I always throw 1v1. Okay. And expect our guys to win. So every quarterback is going to throw. You're going to make mistakes, but this is going to make sure you throw between 6 and 12 interceptions a season and not 18 to 30. interceptions this season. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has mistakes. And this might throw you off at first until you know he's running straight forward and you're thinking, oh, is he going to sit in there? But once you get used to just looking at your reads, free safety, corner, who's in this dead space? That's all your reads go. But we've done this enough that we know that this guy's coming. We're already throwing it. It's a timing route. Boom. Just like that. And if you're not sure, this drag is typically, if you hesitate, let's say we haven't thrown the ball yet, right? Because we were unsure with this guy rushing, okay? This is no longer a safe route. This hook is a timing route. You have to throw it on time. If you get delayed, look at what our drag's doing. I told you it's a 1v1 on your drag almost all of the time, right? You can win that one. So typically, even in man coverage, your tight end's going to be able to beat. It's kind of a tough one to say beat one-on-one, right? Because middle linebackers are very fast, but they're like in a read coverage. So you can see right here, this guy has 94 speed. This guy only has 82. And we beat him just because he's waiting to see. He picks him up when he crosses him. So if we have not thrown the football yet, we could just dump this off for a 1-yard gain, 2-yard gain. Okay? Check it out. Check that out. You guys saw what the free safety did? Let's run this. We've got our hook. We've got our drag with the tight end. And immediately the free safety, you don't really have to read him, right? We are pretty sure he's coming on a blitz, but he is going to be your first read. Is he going to vacate our area, which he's standing in it right now? Number 2, who else can be in that area? 45 on an edge, or number 4. He could sprint out there, and that's going to dictate it. Let's look at it in real time. Immediately, guys. So I wanted to purposely throw this one just to show you. So this is like step 2 of your read, right? So when this guy, because it's on a read, he's immediately going into this throwing lane, right? So we throw this on a hook because he is not yet in our throwing lane. See that? We're already throwing. So if this guy was here outside of that hash, we don't throw that. But we know right away because of the timing route. And that's going to come with practice. So what I want you guys to do is throw this check down. Immediately when this guy goes out to cover our, I don't even know what to call this. This is our throwing lane. Let's just put it as that. I keep calling it a dead zone or a live zone. But this is our throwing. Anytime somebody's going to your throwing lane, the easiest thing to do is just check it down. All right. Here we go. 2 high safeties. So a free safety is over the top. His counterpart's over the top. Cover 2, right? We do have a ton of room. So we want to throw that hook. The only other option there, right, is a streak. So we're throwing it deep as if he's in press. Okay, so let's put Null back on our drag here. Okay, and let's just read what happens. So we're reading free safety and we're reading outside backer. And then because our eyes are in the area, you kind of just pick up what the edge is doing naturally. Let's see what happens. Okay, do you guys see it? You guys make the read? Look at that. You can't complete them all, but you can give yourself the best opportunity. So check this out. What do you guys see here? Usually when I teach this, people are like, I am not going to throw, or I am going to throw this hook because I'm reading this guy. He's not going to our dead zone. But read number 1 is your free safety. What's he doing? This is a 2v1. So that immediately tells us, that's why I said, you guys see it? We're immediately checking it down. And did that get tipped, or he just throw it like crap? I threw it like crap. That's the read. All right, what are you guys seeing here? I'm going to give you a second. What's the safety doing? Yes, he is. He's up top. His counterpart is 2. Signals at least a cover 2, right? Initially, that's what we're going to read. Is it a cover 1 or cover 2? We're going to put it on, but we're in press. So instead of a hook, guys, we're going to run a streak, and everything else stays the same. Okay. And the only thing we're reading here on a streak, you don't have to worry about that live zone, that throwing lane zone, because we're not throwing there. Okay. The only thing we're reading is if this safety is going to help the cornerback, because that's a 2v1. If he's not, we're throwing the 1v1. Let's do it in real time. Check it out. Just like that. That's how we throw it deep. Let's talk about it. So all we have to do here is read this guy. And immediately, he's taken off towards the line of scrimmage. So this is the easiest read ever. If we stand back there and let this guy get down the field further, number one, now your quarterback's arm strength comes into play. You could underthrow this, which we've done many a times. So my advice is right when you get set, check this out. Right when we get set, we're throwing the football. So we don't want to throw it off our back foot. We don't want to get too excited. And then we don't want to stand there, because if the free safety's coming towards the line of scrimmage, that means they're likely bringing pressure somewhere else. Now, in this case, they don't, but I don't want to stand around and find out. We're going to throw that deep ball. And luckily, our quarterback throws a perfect deep ball there. Okay. Check this out, guys. What's free safety doing? You got it. He's up top. So is his counterpart. Cover 2, we've got 5 yards. Not the 8 that we've been seeing so much of. Not the press where we could throw a streak, but that 5. He's right in between. This is going to be a major signaler that we need to read the throwing lane space. Okay, so let's do what we always do. If they're not in press, we're in hook. Here we go. Hook or drag. That's our read right there. If anybody's going to our throwing lane, we're throwing the drag. See what we did there? If anybody's going into our throwing lane, we're checking it down. Nobody's going over there. Okay, so we've seen the free safety run directly at our receiver. That's a no-go. Read number 1 is always your free safety. So this guy goes over the top. This is a 1v1 because nobody's in our throwing lane. This is going to scare you because this guy, and this guy. That's why it's a timing route though, right? You got to trust your ones. You got to know the strengths. I like to do practice mode and see. I like strong arm quarterbacks too. See if we're able to make these throws, right? If you don't feel comfortable, check it down, right? Nobody's running with this guy. This is your check down. You can also, some people like to run like a swing route with their running back, right? But if your eyeballs are going to this side of the field, I don't like to have a check down going to the blind side, right? That's a huge read. Unless you have a tiny monitor, you're looking here, you're looking there, and that takes way too much time. So run and shoot is all about open space and fast reads. So here we go. Check this out. Well, let's do it from our quarterback's perspective. So we're looking to our left, right? We can see just the way our free safety's hips are turned. Okay, we won that. Nobody's getting into our throwing lane because we're throwing out left. And then we always expect to beat the defensive back as long as we can make this throw on time. We do that, easy completion. Let's do a couple more examples here. One high safety, we love that. Everybody wants to throw deep against the one high safety, but for the sake of our video here, our second read, our defensive back says we can't throw it high. He's anticipating that. So let's put the hook. Let's put the drag. We'll do our tight end this time. And then our read is going to be who's getting in our throwing lanes. Okay, that's it. Nobody. Hit that drag. We threw it a little high, so our quarterback's only like a 77 overall, something like that. Not great as far as the whole accuracy. So if you get a highly accurate quarterback, these are super high completion percentages, right? Okay, here's another example. You can see right here, this is our safety is over the top. His counterpart is also signals a cover 2, right? But as we start to read these defenses, these guys are a lot closer than they normally are, aren't they? Okay, so this is going to be a crazy one. We've got plenty of space from our cornerback here. Signals our hook route. And then we'll go ahead and put our drag on just to check it down. And then we're going to read, there's a lot of bodies right now that could potentially enter our airspace, right? So let's go ahead and read it in real time. Nobody is though, so we're gonna go ahead and throw it. And just like that, look at that. You only have one tackle to break too, on those kind of routes, and you can go for big yards. Okay, last example here, guys. One high safety, no counterpart, nobody directly across from him. Says cover 1 to me. All right, but our cornerback, read number 2, playing way off the ball, 8 yards. That's a perfect opportunity to throw it on the hook. And then we got to look for our airspace. Is the edge or the outside linebacker going to occupy that? If they do, we're going to check it down. They do, so we check it down. Look at that, almost overthrew a drag. But that is the easiest, the absolute easiest passing concept here in college football 26. That's like a staple of run and shoot. You're always reading your primary receiver out here. You know exactly what to do to the ball. I'm throwing the timing route or I'm checking it down. There is nothing simpler than that. That is pre-snap read 101. If you guys are liking this video and you want me to go a step further, we can start talking about how to attack zones and throw it outside, how to do 2-minute drills, etc., etc. Make sure you show some love on this video. Leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing. Let me know what you guys think in the comment. If you would like to see more content, I'm more than happy to break it down. This is one of the first like gameplay guide videos, so I know it's a little all over the place. I want to do this thing in real time with you guys and not do a bunch of editing, so you can see like how it really works. So bear with me as I learn to make videos like this, and they get better and better. But it starts with you guys and the currency of the YouTube cosmos, which is likes, comments, subscribes, etc. Just let me know what you want to see. But that is it. The run and shoot into open space, all timing, very fast. It's very effective when you don't have a great offensive line. It's very effective when you're overmatched and you're trying to beat simple coverages. So as you can see, we were in a random defense. We were successful every single play just by running 3 different routes: hook, streak, and then always the drag. Hook or streak is all you got to read, and then your drag, your check down. So thank you guys so much. Until next time, thanks for all the support. Love you guys. Peace.